You know, there's a special kind of expert out there, a real champion for the taxpayer, who's federally licensed to stand between you and the IRS. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see who they are and what kind of incredible power they have on your behalf. Okay, we've all been there, right? That little jolt of panic. You're just going through your mail and bam, there it is. That envelope from the IRS. Your heart kind of skips a beat and your mind just starts racing. What could this possibly be? Well, it usually boils down to a few really intimidating words. First up, the one word nobody ever wants to hear: audit. Yep, this is when the IRS decides they want to take a closer look, a much closer look at your tax return. They're going to want proof for every single number, every deduction, every piece of income you reported. Then there's a lien. Now, what's that? It's basically a legal claim the government puts on your property. We're talking your house, your car, anything valuable. It's their way of saying, hey, you owe us money, and we're officially putting a hold on this asset until you pay up. It's a serious, serious warning shot. And if a lien is the warning shot, a levy is when they actually pull the trigger. This is a whole other level. It's not just a claim anymore, it's the actual seizure of your assets. The IRS can literally go into your bank account and take money out, or they can garnish your wages. This is where it gets real fast. And finally, seizure. This is exactly what it sounds like, the physical taking of your property. This is the IRS's ultimate enforcement tool. When this happens, you know the situation has gone from bad to critical. So, when the stakes are this high, what do? Who can you possibly turn to? Trying to navigate this stuff on your own? It's like trying to find your way through a maze blindfolded. You absolutely need an expert, someone who knows the system inside and out. And that expert, that guide, is the enrolled agent, or EA for short. Now, an EA isn't just some person who prepares taxes. No, these are federally licensed specialists. They've earned the right to represent taxpayers for any tax issue in any state. You can think of them as America's tax experts, for real. So you might be thinking, okay, but how is an EA different from, say, a CPA or a tax attorney? And that is a great question. Here's the key difference. CPAs and attorneys, they're licensed by their individual states, but enrolled agents, they're licensed directly by the U.S. Treasury. That gives them this unique nationwide power to handle tax matters anywhere in the country. It doesn't matter where you live, they can represent you. So how does this all get started? How do you give them the keys, so to speak? It all begins with a specific form. Form 2848, the power of attorney. This document is everything. When you sign it, you're officially giving that enrolled agent the authority to step into your shoes. They can talk to the IRS for you, get your notices, negotiate deals. Basically, they handle it all, so you don't have to. But, and this is super important, don't get that confused with another form, Form 8821. That one only lets someone look at your tax info. It's like giving them a library card, but not permission to speak. They can see the information, but they can't represent you, they can't argue for you, they can't negotiate. For real power, for a real advocate, it has to be Form 2848. You know that old saying, with great power comes great responsibility. Well, it absolutely applies here. The power to speak for a taxpayer is huge, and because of that, EAs are held to a really strict code of conduct. That official code is called Treasury Department Circular 230. Just think of it as the rule book for anyone who practices before the IRS. It spells out all the ethical and professional standards that EAs, and also CPAs and attorneys, have to live by. It's really the bedrock of trust in the whole system. And this code is all about some key duties. Things like due diligence. That means they have to check the facts and make sure everything's accurate. They have to keep everything you tell them completely confidential. They have to be honest and have integrity, and they always have to put your interest first. And these aren't just, nice suggestions. They are hard and fast enforceable rules. Okay, so we've got this federally licensed champion, and they're bound by this strict ethical code. That's great. But what can they actually do when a taxpayer is in real trouble? Let's take a look at some of the tools in their toolbox. Well, one really powerful tool is called innocent spouse relief. Just imagine this. You filed a joint return with your spouse, and you had no idea let's say they made some mistakes or misreported something. An EA can step in and help you file for this relief so that you aren't on the hook for tax debt that wasn't your fault. Another big one is the offer in compromise, or OIC. This is for people in really tough financial spots. I mean, if you just genuinely can't pay what the IRS says you owe, an enrolled agent can go to bat for you. They can negotiate with the IRS to settle your debt for less than the full amount, giving you a chance for a fresh start. And what if you can pay the full amount, but you just can't pay it all at once? That's where an installment agreement comes in. NEA can set you up on a formal payment plan with the IRS, affordable monthly payments, which is great because it stops those scary collection actions like a levy while you get caught up. So, after hearing all this, maybe you're thinking, wow, that sounds pretty incredible. What does it actually take to become one of these taxpayer champions? How do you earn that level of trust and authority from the federal government? Well, the path is definitely clear, but it's also really demanding. First, you have to absolutely master all the complex rules of tax law, representation, and procedures. Then, you have to prove it. You have to pass this really tough 3-part exam called the Special Enrollment Examination, or SEE. And if you can do that, you earn the highest credential the IRS itself can give out. It's a huge deal. And listen, for anyone out there who's serious about mastering that material, especially Part 3, which is all about representation and practice, there's a fantastic resource you should know about. It's the book IRS Enrolled Agent Exam Part 3, Representation and Practice. You can grab it right now on Amazon, and get this, it's coming soon as an audiobook on audible.com, narrated by Tom Brooks. So as you can see, an enrolled agent is so much more than just a tax preparer. They're a strategist, an advocate, and a problem solver with the federal power to stand up for you. They're the real deal. So the final question is, are you ready to be the expert in the room?